Hey, gun people. This is a interesting little video about things happening. Got it off Police Activity. If you want to read the description, you can go watch their whole video without me interrupting. You can pause it and read kind of here. Officers fired about 11 rounds. I think the suspect fired 35 rounds. And he had a Taurus, and it jammed during the shootout with officers. And jams happen a lot of times in actual shootings because people are moving. They're panicking. They're not doing a good, range, solid, two-handed, Mr. All-Pro protection, standing there in a safe range with your fancy draw. That's not how actual shootings happen. So guns function differently in actual situations than they do for the tactical range guys. Let's take a look at this video here. Okay, so he's got a good two-handed stance. He's holding his hands kind of high there. Good line of sight on his sights, so he's definitely aiming. He's walking fairly calm. He's got a bag with some extra ammo. This is a bank. It's in a building, I think, with a federal courthouse. And I think in the comments something about he's got a couple lawsuits filed from the news media for releasing some of his info off his phone or something. So obviously another crazy guy. This isn't the gun's fault, but I'm sure the liberals will make it the gun's fault. One of the guns that the government was holding, it's their fault that it wasn't loaded, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's keep going here. So he's firing through here. I don't know if this guy fell. I don't know if these security guards are armed. They're not really engaging. They're more or less hiding and running. If they are armed, I would leave that guy on the ground and engage a suspect. If they're armed and helping people, I guess I got a little bit of problem with that, but it just confirms, like I tell everybody, when you give your guns away for protection and you leave it to government because they tell you they'll keep you safe, it never works out when a guy shows up with a gun who's a criminal, who don't care about gun laws, who wants to do bad things. It never works in your favor. Stop being an idiot and giving up your guns thinking the government's going to protect you. But I digress. So they're calling the security guards heroes for picking this guy up and helping him. Okay. Everybody's bailing. I think he comes in a camera here again. And you notice his walking is pretty, kind of, I slowed this down and sped it up earlier. Okay, I'm at halftime right now. So I can go normal here, but I'm going to slow it down a second. One-handed stance, kind of nonchalant. Again, people don't understand. You'll notice the cops aren't walking around like this guy. Why? Because the cops are in, oh shit, fight or flight. The cops didn't plan to come here and get in a gunfight. The cops didn't stress about this for weeks, planning and getting ammo and going here and have a grudge and have a mission and have a plan and doesn't care if they get killed. This guy doesn't care if he gets killed. So this guy already has decided, I don't have much to lose. And that's a dangerous guy to confront. Like I said, you won't see cops walking around like this. I'll look over here and I'll shoot with one hand and I'll keep walking straight. Very calm. There's a difference between a calm person who gets to act and from people who are reacting. Cops, government, citizens with guns, etc. Another view, he comes to here. You notice there's no glass on the ground here. The other footage in a second is going to show them shooting through these windows. Now there's glass. Again, he's one-handed grip, kind of pointing, looking where he's shooting, identifying his target. Pretty stinking calm. Not I don't know if y'all remember the old LA bank robbery before they started giving cops AR-15s, and they were outgunned, and those guys had automatic weapons and AKs, and they had bulletproof vests on, and they were walking around like this guy, just shooting up cars and shooting people. They didn't look nervous. They were just like, hey, man, another day at the job. I'm robbing a bank, and we got caught. We got to shoot our way out. This guy is routine. Just saw a cop shoot by here. You'll see him in a minute looking through the door. Now he's starting to get hit and shot at because the glass is flying through, windows are getting broken, so he's got a little bit more sense of urgency to move now. Before, he was running around like, I'm the only dummy with a gun and all these other sheep gave up their guns, so I have nothing to worry about. When the cops show up and start engaging him, and now he's not Mr. I'm the only guy with a gun, suddenly he's running and dodging and he's got a sense of urgency. Funny how that happens. Luckily, and everybody's praising government because they got here like in 4 or 5 minutes. Big freaking deal. I can take out a lot of people in 4 or 5 minutes. If somebody would have been armed in there and pulled a gun immediately and shot him, it wouldn't have mattered if government took 5 or 20 minutes. He would have been down. Rick, you can't say that because that goes against governments wanting to get the guns and gun control. Yeah, that's because you're a freaking idiot liberal. All right. Falls. Does a pretty good slide there. I'm not sure where he took a round, but wherever it was, it took him down pretty hard. Man, that's a...
What'd he say?
Okay, so this guy kind of bothers me. He gets his gun out. Notice all the equipment. Baton, flashlight, taser, pepper spray. Bought that on Active Self-Protection. Let's see. And his little rope thrower. They got the new technique. And the little punch ball, that orange thing that I did. You know, all this equipment. And he goes for his gun. But Rick, why isn't he using all that? Well, that's because you're an idiot. So this guy pulls his gun. And then he puts it back in his holster, and I just don't get it.
He didn't hear him. He heard somebody. He didn't hear him. I'm going to go.
Okay, this guy has his gun out.
Okay.
We already know we're on a shots fired call, and this guy holsters his gun. What the hell is... What is wrong with cops nowadays? It's like they're afraid to have their gun out. I've never seen something so stupid. Don't ever holster your gun until the scene's secure. If you need to have your gun out, it stays out. That's why these idiots who are doing this great tactical training and putting you on a timer, and the timer doesn't stop till you get your gun back in a holster. Really? You're teaching people to be fast in a holster? That is stupid, ignorant training. I don't know why this guy put his freaking gun in a holster. You're going to a shots fired call. Radio traffic is still active. You're still evolving. Nobody's gone secure. And you put your freaking gun in your holster? Really? Still running, still chaotic. Gun out. Ooh, that's scary, Rick. He should have it in a holster like the other guy, because at the Tactical Mall Academy School, they told us, always keep your gun in your holster and you should never pull it out unless you're going to shoot. Well, that's just ignorant. This girl, we're watching a female's video camera, she keeps a good two-handed grip, and she gets engaged and puts some good rounds in. She actually does a pretty good job. I know it's going to sound bad, but it's kind of shocking because she actually does a pretty good job.
Right.
You're going to see a lot of lasering. You know, these people that tell you, oh, you should never laser. Oh, you're dangerous. Oh, if you laser. Oh, those are your range-trained tactical idiots that think they're super cool on the range and they got all the equipment and they can hit a target that's standing still and not shooting back. And then they've never been in a situation to where it's chaotic and shit happens. And you know what? You do what you need to do. So you're going to see guys crossing in front of each other. You're going to see guys moving and trying to not laser and laser. It happens, people. Quit being an idiot range range and getting all your damn training from mall cops.
On your shoulder.
Another one.
Okay, so this guy, bald. Oh, you guys are, notice meat eater, runs right in, runs to gunfire, doesn't stop, doesn't take cover, doesn't hold back. He runs to gunfire. That's the difference between meat eaters and people that can't hunt. So he jumps in there. He goes straight to the action. Some people are going to say he shouldn't have opened. I got no problem with it. He sees the guy inside. Remember, the guy's going back and forth inside. So he's moving to another point of cover. She's using good cover here. She's around the corner. She's not exposing herself. She's right-handed. She's got her gun in her right hand. Good stance right here. I don't know if her arm is on this building or not. Some people will call that a supported. Some people, if it's not on the arm, will call it unsupported. Some people will tell you don't touch it. I'm okay with touching it. I usually touched it. It reaffirms where I'm at. It gives me a good solid stance. I shoot. It's called supported barricade. If she's not touching it, called unsupported barricade shooting. Do it at a range, but in this situation, this helps stabilize you with nerves. She's getting a shake. She's nervous. She's getting fight or flight. Putting this arm and leaning into this pole with her arm will help steady those nerves and keep her sight picture and ability to keep her gun from shaking and seeing the effects of fight or flight. How many rounds she fire? Rick, she should always count her rounds because green screen said if you know what you're doing, you should go to pepper spray and then count your rounds. Yeah, you're a freaking idiot. Okay, who saw that? Pretty much everybody should have seen that. If this happened to green screen, he'd be saying the gun doesn't work and the ammo was bad. If you watch it closely, you'll see that the guy grabbed a gun and either didn't load it or he dumped his mag while he was running and he hit it because he's panicking. And again, shit happens. Let me slow this down a little bit. Let's go halftime here. He's taking cover. He's putting rounds in. And we're going to see this guy come up. He's going to engage in a long gun. He's got his rifle. He's out in the open. She backs up. If he would have fired, dude, she doesn't have ears on. This AR, because it's outside and open, it's not quite as loud as if it was in a building or in enclosed, but she is going to kind of be out of the fight a little bit. She's going to get some unburned powder, flash, muzzle flash, unburned powder, percussion of the round. Her ears are going to be ringing. If he would have shot right now, she would have probably been, and I'm not saying it's her fault or his fault. I'm saying shit happens. And this guy moved out here. She was here close to the wall. He came to the outside. He was going to come in and engage with a long gun. It was a great plan. It worked out great. If he drew it out and planned it, it would be perfect. But you got to remember to load your magazine or keep a magazine in there or have an extra magazine. Another green screen tip. He doesn't think you ought to bring extra mags. If he had an extra magazine, he could have known that it was empty and loaded a magazine. But he didn't. Maybe he got trained to green screen. So he sees that his gun is unloaded, looks at it. Notice this look. I tell people all the time, if you train at the range to look at your gun when it stops firing, he'll do it in actual. What does this dude do when his gun doesn't shoot? Instead of dropping it and immediately going to his handgun, he looks at it. This is time. He's out in the open. This leaves him exposure. He's blocking the path of other officers. This was not a good move. Am I saying this guy's a bad guy? No, I'm saying shit happens. And this goes back to training. And when I'm training long gun and short gun, when your long gun fails, I'll yell, malfunction. And that means drop your long gun and go to your short gun. And then I'll yell, malfunction. That means drop your fucking or reholster your handgun and go to long gun. You have to practice going back and forth very quickly in order for it to become routine. This guy was training at ranges, and when his gun malfunctioned, what did he do? Exactly what Greenstream did. He looks at it and goes, I wonder why my gun isn't functioning. So for a second, he was confused. He looked, finally figured out, shit, I don't have a mag in the gun. It ain't a gun, it's a club. This is a happy liberal gun. All liberals are cheering. That's how all those mean long ARs should be. They're black guns and they're dangerous and they should all be unloaded. That's how they're safe. Yeah, well, because you're a freaking idiot. All right, so he drops his gun after he takes time. Goes, shit. Falls right here. I think he hurts his leg or something. He starts limping afterwards. I don't know if you look at, I want you to really notice how when you're stressed, how your gun doesn't come out. I used to get a lot of shit because I carried my gun with nothing. No strap, no safety. When I grabbed my gun, it came out. If you could get my gun out and shoot me with it, well, you were going to get it. And if I couldn't get to one of my other backups, well, then you got me. But I knew where my gun was, and I was usually protecting it. And if I was in a situation where I thought somebody was going to use it, it was probably already in my hand. So I didn't like all the safety things. This guy pulls on this gun at least twice, if not 3 times, trying to get his gun out because he's panicking, because he's kneeling down, because he just dropped the gun, because shots are fired. It's panic. He's behind her. She just fired. Fingernail on the trigger. Good for her. One-handed grip. Not so good. She's trying to point it not away from him because he jumped in front of her. Let me go back here and see what happened. So he moves in. Says, fuck, she lasers him. She notices she doesn't. She goes down. He drops the gun. Watch the holster. 1, 2. Takes him a while to get that holster out. Very critical. You train with your holster, and it should come out easy because when you need it, those seconds that you're trying to get it out, if the guy was in front of him, he would have lost this gunfight. He would have lost it because he didn't have a mag in his gun, but he would have lost it because he couldn't get his gun out. Which is why I was cracking on a guy earlier about why the hell did you put your gun back in your holster? You're going to a shooting situation. It's still going on. You've got an active live shooter shooting people, and you think it's a good idea to put your freaking gun in your holster? Are you kidding me? This is what happens when your gun's in your holster and you need it. You panic, and you can't get it out easily, and you struggle. And in those few seconds, remember, the outcome always dictates. This guy, great job. He didn't get shot, didn't get anybody else shot, made a mistake, dropped his gun, pulled his pistol, and everything went perfect. He's a hero. If he would have got shot because he didn't have a mag, and then she got shot because she didn't have a mag, or when he got shot, he came over and helped, and then he got shot, now he wouldn't be a hero. It'd be like, why the hell did you go out there without a mag? If he couldn't get his gun out and he got shot, then he came over and helped, and then he got shot because he was helping, it'd be like, why was your gun in the holster, and why couldn't you get your gun out of the holster? The outcome dictates how people see it and how you can spin it and how the government will push their narrative that we're great, we're trained, we're so professional that only government should have guns. We'll come protect you and save you because we're the best and no one else should have it. Kind of like the Dallas cop that got off work and showed up to the wrong freaking apartment and killed some dude in his own apartment. That is government with guns. Okay? Nobody's blaming a gun. Nobody's coming out saying we need gun control for cops because if they're too stupid to find their own apartment, maybe they should have to turn their gun in when they're off duty so they're not carrying it home shooting people. Nobody's saying that. Why? Because government doesn't want to push the agenda to get rid of their guns. They only want to push the agenda to get rid of your guns. Speed this back up. A little bit of lasering here. He's in his field of fire. She's trying to come out, but hey, if she shoots this glass right now, she's going to blind him. So is her gun effective? I mean, she can engage the guy, but if she shoots the glass with this guy this close, you have to be able to adjust on the fly. And when some other officer or team member or someone else on your squad or whatever does something, you have to be able to adjust on the fly and change your plan. She either needs to be next to him, she needs to reposition, she's staying behind cover. Some people will say that's smart. Some people say he isn't smart. He wants to get to this hole to see in.
I'm covered. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Moves in now. If they both shoot, suspects on the ground. He's got a better field of view through this hole. He's trying to see the guy clearer because the glass probably shattered and it's probably cloudy and he can't see it. How many people think any of these officers shooting look for innocent bystanders in the background? Well, Rick, that's not their fault. You're just picking on the cops. Hey, when you fire a gun, you're responsible for where the bullet goes. And we're taught in academy you shouldn't fire if your background isn't cleared. And you should always clear your background. I taught it. It's policy. Everybody reads it. Did any of these guys clear their background? Because nobody was hit, it will not be questioned. That's the problem with policy. They write it. They get to enforce it when they want to. They get to look the other way. Policy is not about holding people accountable. It's about having a scapegoat and being able to protect themselves liability-wise when somebody screws up and they get caught. They didn't clear their background. Somebody could have got shot. Should be addressed. Is it going to be? No, because nobody got shot. Move on. Different day.
Another one, another one.
This is the guy that moved across. Okay, so you see him looking here. Remember that was ball guy? See him looking through. He's seeing his reflection. I don't know how much he can see through. Suspect comes by here. So all those rounds happen behind him as the guy is running. My guess is all those rounds, they didn't hit the guy because he's running this way. All those rounds just happened, and you're going to see the suspect walk by this door here. So all those rounds that were fired, suspect was not hit. Where do those rounds go? We don't know. We don't care. Doesn't matter, Rick. They got the guy. They showed up in 5 minutes. They're heroes. Government is great. They should be the only ones with guns. Everybody should give up their guns because they're a freaking idiot and let the government protect them. Come on, people. Their suspect comes right through here. He engages through the door and fires. I don't know if he hits him, but the guy runs. I don't think he did hit him because you saw him running back earlier before he fell. Remember, he's not on the ground yet. Those shots hit him. That's when he fell. If you remember from the previous video, it looked like he was shot from the back. He shots here, he gets him running, he pulls back, re-engages, saws where he goes. This dude did a great job. This is probably, I know everybody's always telling me I'm picking on ball cops, but testosterone is good when shit hits a fan. It's not good when they're bored and they're beating up people for, calling them bald. But this guy takes him out. All those rounds that have been fired, this guy right here takes him out. Stays in a fight, gets in a good position. To me, he did one of the better jobs. Kind of ineffective here. He needs to get in.
Right there. I got it.
So they know he's on the ground. Now things settle down. Another problem that nobody really knows or understands is, do we have more than one shooter? Do these cops know that he's the only shooter? For a counter intelligence or a counter planning against a force, if somebody wanted to take out these police cops, they would go, okay, this dude's going to shoot back and forth, and we're going to have a dude back here with a long rifle. And after the cops shoot him and they all come in like they always do and walk up on him and talk and surround the body, then this guy back here with the long gun is going to come out and take them all out. That's how you use trick and deceit and, I can't think of the name that I want to think of right now, but you trick them into an area or an ambush kill zone, and then you have somebody set up. So this guy is basically just to get the cops to relax and think they neutralize the threat. Meanwhile, you have a second guy, maybe a third guy with a long gun, and it's an ambush. And maybe they didn't even hit this guy. Maybe this guy is in on it, and look, as soon as the cops shoot, you need to fall to the ground and let the cops think they hit you. And then when they come around to check you and to handcuff you, we're going to come out here, and they'll all have their guns away, and they'll be relaxed, and we'll shoot them. So, I mean, can you think everything? No, but you kind of got to be aware. These cops are here. That guy's down. I don't know if these guys, what happened. Again, I don't have the video, but if I was there, when I've worked with agencies where we went to a lot of shootings and things, we were very good about, it became routine. Secure that body, secure the crime scene, start grabbing witnesses or seeing who's there, and start getting anybody that looks like they're running or fleeing, and then secure the area. Get in points of advantageous to you in your position and move to either four corners or semicircle. Get in positions where you can provide good security for the officers who are dealing with the scene. Most cops you see now, when cops show up, they just kind of wandering around and they're walking and everybody wants to see the dead body, and nobody's really doing anything about scene preservation or officer safety. In the military, when we went down Rally Point en route or whatever, when you're moving, military guys will know, when you go down and you want to get directions or you want to look at your map or reevaluate or talk on the radio, you immediately set up a 360. Your whole squad knows when we stop, if we're going to be here for a while, you guys move out, position a cover or concealment, and set up for a 360 so we have 360-degree protection. Cops don't do that. Cops just kind of, I mean, now good agencies who go to a lot of shootings and work in a lot of dangerous areas, they have developed more military tactics, and they do that. Vallejo used to do that. Very routine. Cops would come in with positioned cars, block roads, get in positions where we can see, puts the lights to where it doesn't blind other officers, but it lights up the surrounding area. Those things become routine when you do enough of these and respond to a lot of these. A lot of agencies don't go to a lot of those, but anyway, a lot of different things here, and I thought this guy, the ball guy, did the best job. Girl did a pretty good job. The guy with the mag, hey, he tried. He had the right idea. He had a plan. Remember, all plans are great until you get punched in the face or the first shot's fired. All right, we'll end that there.